So I've been following the Netflix series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I've talked about it in a few in the past, and it's basically a playoff of the Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV show we used to have, I think back in the 90s. And so yeah. Except this particular show on Netflix, when I shared it with y'all, I said how they were exposing some very truthful and factual details. Like, they're basically blatantly showing you what the occult is really like. They held nothing back. They put stuff in that TV show that I don't even think Harry Potter probably touched on. Like, they showed you like many different kinds of rituals that they do in the occult, as far as like bringing people back to life, the human sacrifices. They showed you what that branch of Satanism actually believes doctrinal wise. They did a lot. But I wanted to get on here because I watched season 4, which was the last season. They canceled the show off of Netflix, so they're not going to continue it for whatever reason. I have my own opinions and thoughts of why they probably did that. They say it was a money situation. Something that, to be honest, really didn't make sense. They kept the show Riverdale, which I've never seen Riverdale on Netflix, but apparently Riverdale is supposed to be tied into Chilling Adventures of Sabrina somehow. And I think they were saying that because so many people were watching it, I think they said Netflix makes more money by like just starting over whole new TV shows or introducing new TV shows versus like keeping. It didn't make any sense how they said it. I was like, I don't know why. Anyway, episode 6, season 4, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Okay. It's the second to last episode. Y'all may not watch it. Like I said, y'all don't watch what Sister Brandy watches. I have a reason why I watch these TV shows and why I watch certain things. There was a part in the episode where they were kind of wrapping up the show and they were kind of doing this comedic turnaround in episode 6 to where they brought the original characters from Sabrina the Teenage Witch into this particular spin-off. And they were just kind of like, being funny and silly about it. And if the actors were not doing their job right in this particular episode, they sent them to the green room. Now, in the green room, what they were doing is they were taking the cadavers, the bodies of the actors and the actresses, and they were grinding it like in a meat tenderizer. And they already kind of had gory stuff like this in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina to begin with. So I mean, it's not a show that like you can't stomach it. It really just depends on what your spiritual sensitivity is when it comes to shows like that. But in that particular episode, they were specifically taking the people into this back room where they were like cutting them just like you would an animal, cutting the arms, the legs, the body parts of the people, and they were putting them through this grinder. And so they said it was cat food for Salem. Salem is he's one of the main characters in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the little black cat. So they made a joke and was like, oh, this is just cat food that we're making for Salem. So they go outside and there's like this whole counter, a whole like table full of like canned cat food. And somebody in the show, I think Sabrina's aunties, they made a comment and they were like, oh, I guess this is our snack. As actors, you know how they have like a whole table set up for the actors and stuff. And she was like, well, I guess this is, I guess this is all we're going to eat. I guess I'll just snack on some tuna. And Sabrina was like, no. She was like, actually, that's not tuna. She didn't tell them what it was because she actually witnessed them cutting up the body cadavers in the back and making it into cat food for Salem. So she didn't tell her aunties what the mystery meat was, but she specifically said, this was her line in that episode. She said, actually, don't ever eat anything don't ever eat any kind of canned meat again, basically. And I caught it when she said that. And to be honest, it wasn't much to catch. I mean, unless you're just one of those people that you just don't believe in any form of conspiracy theory whatsoever, it would fly right over your head. But it was pretty blatant. She literally told her aunties, do not ever, she said, actually, don't ever eat anything canned again. Because she had witnessed them grinding up human bodies in the episode. And that's what they were actually putting in the cat food. And no, I'm not just saying it's just cat food. I'm thinking about everything we eat this can. But I've been saying this. And see, she's not the. This show is has put out so much truth. I have my own opinion about why they're canceling it. My own opinion about why they're canceling the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I could be off, but I don't know who wrote that show. I don't know what the elites let certain people with when they're producing certain things. But even when I watched the first couple seasons of Sabrina when it first came out, I saw how much truth they were putting in that show, and I said, "Are they going to get in trouble for this?" Because they even had an episode where they blatantly said that Satan was just a fallen angel. He's nobody to be worshipped. Telling the truth about the devil as far as Satanists and what they believe, but they were already in covenant and in bondage to him. But it's like the way they said it in the episode was like they found out the truth about who he really was too late. Like he has no real power. So I saw a long time ago, I said they are throwing so much subliminal. I mean, you'd have to watch it to see what I'm talking about, but just certain instances where, like, when Sabrina was still kind of on the fence with whether she wanted to join the Church of Night, she was called to be a witch via bloodline, but she was trying to choose, like, do I really want to sacrifice my friends and my family and my normal life to, be a witch? Because that's a whole nother calling and destiny, basically. And she would ask, other witches in the coven, do y'all really believe this stuff? What if this is just all a lie? What if he's just deceiving you? Because the stuff they believe was really kind of psychotic and crazy, to be honest. I think they believe that if they sacrifice themselves to Satan, like their bodies in the actual church, and the witches would eat the flesh, that, different parts of them would continue to live on in the bodies of the people that ate them. So they believe a lot of crazy stuff, but Sabrina would just be questioning. She was questioning a lot of stuff. And you really do get the vibe that when you're watching the show, like, it looks like they're trying to expose Satanism or maybe show people the truth. Like, we're stuck in this. It's too late for us. Let me show y'all what this really is, type of thing. But yeah, so episode 6, season 4, she pretty much exposed, or whoever was behind that script in their own way wanted to put it out there, what y'all are eating is not real meat. That show is as blatant as it can possibly get. In my personal opinion, as Brandy, I think that's one of the reasons why they're canceling that show. Because it doesn't, the excuse they gave, the excuse that Netflix gave really didn't make any sense. Because Sabrina is a really good show if you follow it. But yeah, she was actually, they show you cutting up the bodies, the cadavers, and putting it in a grinder or like a meat tenderizer, and they were packing it in cans. So I don't think it's just cat food. I think it's everything canned. And I started thinking, I was like, is it the vegetables too? That's a dumb comment. I don't think it's the vegetables, but you know what I think it is? And we should have been questioning this because nobody should be eating canned meat. That's just really disgusting. If you're going to eat meat, it's not unbiblical to do so. We are told in Torah what we can and what we can't eat as far as the dietary law. So nobody biblically can be a vegan because we have to keep the feast days. And Father, I think he commands us to eat either lamb or goat on, like, different feast days and stuff like that, Passover. So you can only be a part-time vegan if you are trying to do a diet like that, following the Most High. But I will say, I think it's like the canned, like, sloppy Joe type of meat type stuff. I definitely think it's some tuna. I think it's any kind of canned meat. She literally said in that show and told her aunties, actually, I probably wouldn't eat anything canned again. She didn't just say it about what was on the table. She said it in general. And they were just like, oh, why? But she didn't tell them, she actually saw what they were putting in there. So she's not the first person that said that. That TV show is not the first person that's released that information, or the first source. If y'all remember, there's a Jewish man years ago that came out in an interview, a fake Jew, who is admitting that they take children and they take people, they kidnap them, and they use them for sacrifices and rituals in the Satanic Church. They drain them of their blood in the ritual, they drink it, and they have to find something to do with the rest of the body. So they grind it up, and he said they put it in foods like fast food chains. Like he specifically said McDonald's. The mystery meat. So, man, I said that, and I finished watching it, like, what was it, like 5 days ago, 5 or 6 days ago. So I'm kind of late, like, making a video about it. But I was like, yeah, I need to do a video on that, just to make a quick, like, throw it out there. I know I've talked about what we should and shouldn't be eating so many times, and even after you watch a really good anointed video like that, it really does take a lot of discipline. And I don't even do it perfectly myself, but I mean, when you learn certain things, you suffer for lack of knowledge. So I would say it at least helps us be a little bit more intentional about what we eat and what we don't eat. Because you got people blatantly in a TV show. Now, out of the mouth of two or three witnesses, right? It's not just some interview that somebody can say, "Oh, that's fake." That Jew was lying. I don't think he was lying about anything. But now it's in a TV show. So why would they just throw stuff like that out there if it's not true? You definitely not eating no real beef because I mean, what makes you think if they were really feeding you true, like real quality meat, your food would not be like 1.99. Your burger wouldn't be nowhere around $5. It'd be probably around like $9 or $10. If you go to a real burger joint, that's what they're gonna charge you for real ground beef. But when you go to places like McDonald's and all these other like fast food chains and Taco Bell, that's not meat. You don't know what they putting in there. And Sabrina kind of just told you it's human flesh, because you have a lot of America is Babylon. It's literally founded on Satanism and rituals, probably daily, just in order for them to keep their position that they have in the earth realm. They have to do something with those bodies. Yes, that's true that they could burn it. I'm not saying they don't burn it and do other things with the bodies, but I'm just saying you have to give a sacrifice and an offering. So, and you also have to curse the nations and keep people under a very heavy spirit of witchcraft. So the only way to do that is to recycle that sacrifice that was offered unto idols, or sacrifice to idols the way the scripture says, through different fast food chains, so everybody else can be cursed when they consume it. So that was in the TV show. I just kind of wanted to get on here and let y'all know about that, because I know y'all probably don't watch like TV shows and stuff like that, but I watch it. So I caught it and I was like, yeah, I'm done. Um, like I said, if you're gonna eat meat, I can't tell y'all what to do. I can't make y'all. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Okay, I just want to put the information out there. I would say the best thing we can do is, if at least know where your meat is coming from. If you know like somebody that farms and literally like has their own kosher meat and they can sell it to you, or you can buy it from somebody that you know is actually legit and kosher. Because to be honest, we're not supposed to be eating no meat that ain't kosher anyway, according to Torah. So scripturally speaking, you're really not supposed to be going to HEB and Walmart and all these other grocery stores to get no kind of meat, because you can't really see if they prepared it the way scripture tells us to prepare it. So you really shouldn't be eating any meat in the land of your enemies, unless you can prove that it's a company that actually prepares their meat in a kosher way to where it can be trusted to eat, or unless you do it yourself. Okay, like I said, I can't tell y'all what to do. Y'all probably gonna get a burger right after this. Like that's between you and the Lord. Like I said, we all have to kind of discipline ourselves. But it's disgusting, and I wanted to get on here and I wanted to throw that out because let us all eat healthy, y'all. Maybe fruits and vegetables. This is what it needs to be right now. I don't trust other stuff, but definitely don't get anything canned. Okay, no more canned meat. Leave that. No hot dogs. None of that mystery. If you didn't see how it was made, don't eat it. You can trust a vegetable and a fruit, although some of it may be GMO. More than you can trust that meat, or what they call it, meat anyway. So that's my little word for y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.